Back in college, me and a buddy were walking on a trestle that spans the Stillwater River in Orono, Maine. The rushing water below had only recently become free of ice. Suddenly, this shaggy, slightly crazed face sprung up from below the train tracks. "It's almost time, isn't it?" he said. I was startled. It took Berman and me a second or two to size up this strange guy. I figured he was a Jesus freak, warning us of Armageddon. "Almost time?" "Salmon season," said the guy. "Tomorrow's opening day. I'm Salmon Billy, and this is my place." Down on the concrete bridge pier, he had scrawled Salmon Billy's place. "This is where I come to drink beer and write letters to other men's wives." You could see his 40 of Old Mill down there next to a notebook. "Are you guys salmon fishermen?" Berman and I say, "Yeah." "Well, you better tie yourselves a bunch of these." He holds open a fly box filled with different sizes of the same pattern. Very pretty, all gold and red and green and gray. Berman recognized it right away. "Rusty Rat," he says. Salmon Billy was pleased by the recognition. "That's right. There's the only salmon pattern you'll ever need." Now, at the time, it's true that I was a fisherman, but in no way was I a salmon fisherman. Stillwater River was a side channel of the Penobscot. Just a few miles downriver was the VZ Dam, where one of the few surviving fisheries of seagoing Atlantic salmon existed in the United States. I hadn't a clue about the entire culture that surrounds the pursuit of anadromous fish. Salmon Billy was the first fishing bum I had ever met. Wasn't even aware that that was a thing. So I never went after the seagoing Atlantic salmon while I lived in Maine. Don't even know if they're still there or if you're allowed to catch them anymore. Luck took me to a part of the country that has steelhead, which are right up there with a level of excitement and obsession among fly fishermen. Turns out, steelhead will bite a rusty rat too. So now that I'm done with my little story, let me explain what I'm doing here. That tag end of the floss I'm going to use to make a little veiling over the body of the fly, just the rear half. You'll see. Now I'm actually counter wrapping this peacock herl over the body, meaning I'm wrapping it in the opposite direction of the thread. And I'm doing that so that the gold twist ribbing will strengthen it when it's wrapped over the top of it, kind of cross hatching it. That'll be important when you get strikes from big fish. Now right here I'm doubling over that gold tinsel twist before I tie it in, and that's important. That really anchors it in place so the fish can't pull it out. We're going to tie in a wing of gray fox body fur, and we're just using the guard hairs. We're going to pull out the fluffy underfur. We're not going to skimp and use squirrel like some fly shops do. We'll use a hair stacker here. You put them in tips first, give it a few taps, and it lines everything up for you. And here's where we switch to the decorative red thread to go over the top. I'm going to add a hackle of grizzly hen, and I'll show you the technique of folding wet fly hackles. You start by stripping off the fuzzies and then clipping it into your hackle pliers at the tip, and then just stroking them backwards while holding them this way. It just prepares the feather and makes it easier to tie in. The trick here is to just stroke them back with each wrap. And as we tie in our head, we're using a few wraps of thread to force the hackle fibers rearward. And if your nail polish should fill the eye, just use a stray hackle stem to clean out the eye of the hook. Well there, I'll bet you even old Salmon Billy would be proud of this one.